Hey guys, it's Meegs again. So this story is a little weird. It weirded me out, but then again, like it was one of those things that's like not really clear when I explain it to people that it definitely is the Mandela effect instead of like, oh, you're just crazy or irresponsible or stupid or you have dementia. It's not what this is. But I enjoy hearing other people's personal Mandela effect stories because if it was just one person that had some weird thing happen to them, then it wouldn't have any meaning. But since we all seem to have these weird memories and, collectively, like the same memories and collective, like strange, like reality shifting experiences, well, I'll go ahead and post mine. Why not? Okay, so what this is, my story is about my keys supernaturally changing. Yeah. So I was in Chicago, and I used to live in this big building. It was like a World War II era warehouse that they repurposed, and now they had like 60 or 70 artists living there. And I basically moved in there to live there for a year. And so when I got my key, I was so excited. It was like a house key to the front door. But because I've been locked out before and stranded and stuff, as I'm sure we all have, one of the first things I did was go out and make a copy of that key to get in the front door. So that wouldn't happen to me. And I went to a hardware store, made a copy of that front door key. And so, I'd been, yeah. So when I got that copy, I was looking around the building. I found like in my 29 years of living on this earth, the best thing to do is to bury the copy of your key somewhere close to your door or your house. So it's in a safe place. People get those like fake rocks to put the keys in and stuff. I like to bury my keys in the dirt. So that's what I did. One day I got a copy made at the hardware store, and I was going out the front door of the building, and I turned around and made sure that the copy that I made worked in the door. And I remember that day clearly because one of the guys that lived in my building is a Polish dude, and he's like an old, sweet Polish man, but he can't speak any English really at all. And he was like he was near the front door that day, and he was like standing staring at me, and he looked at me, and he's like, and I was just like, what is he trying to say? Because I was like trying to make sure the copy of my key worked, and he was just like, it seemed like he got angry, and he was just like, no, like. And so I was like, well, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure the copy of my key works. Like, I don't know how to tell that to you in English, so sorry. But I remember the copy worked, and I waited for him to like walk away so he wouldn't see me burying the copy of my key in the dirt close to the front door. And that's what I did. I buried that key in the dirt. So if I was locked out later, I'd find it and be able to get in. So a couple months later, as I after I got saved and like woke up to like what the Mandela effect really was and the flat earth and all these things like hit me at once. I mean, it was like a train like crashing into my face. I mean, that was like tough. Those are tough days. But I remember like the week after that is when, this particular, what I think is the personal Mandela effect happened to me. And, so one day I was like walking home, and the key my normal key to get in my building where I lived in that art warehouse, I used the key to open the front door, but it wouldn't work one day. And I was like, oh, what? And so I remember like, I was like, I don't understand why this doesn't work. And I went and found the key in the dirt that I left for myself. And I was like, oh, thank goodness I left this key here. Because my key doesn't work. So I got the copy of it. It was all covered in dirt, but that was fine. Dirt doesn't make keys not work. And so I used that key to try to get in the door, and that key didn't work. When in my mind, I have a memory of me making sure that key worked. And so I was like, wait a minute, did the guy change the locks or something? Like, what happened? And so I called the landlord, and he came down, and, like, my hands are all full of dirt from digging in the dirt to get the copy of my key, and I was like, yo, my key doesn't work, and the copy I made doesn't work. And I was like, is anybody else having this problem? And he's like, no. He's like, well, you got the wrong key. I was like, no, this key's always worked for me, and the copy worked too. And I was like, have you heard of the Mandela Effect? I started dropping the Mandela Effect stuff on him. I was like, I think my keys may have supernaturally changed, but like no one else. And he told me to be more responsible, and he told me like next time I'd have to pay like a fee to get like a replacement key or something. And then I didn't end up getting a replacement key for like 3 weeks after that. And that's why I noticed like I had like every time after that I tried to get in my building, I had to call someone to let me in, even though my keys had always worked. And so at that time, like everybody else's keys were working except mine. My keys one day just decided not to work. And I had woken up to a bunch of, conspiracy theories that are going on, truths, whatever you want to call them. And, I had an experience with God. I didn't go crazy, guys. I promise. I did, like, there was no other behavior where I was, like, possibly schizophrenic or bipolar or something. No, none of that. I'm telling you, I just found God. And I really did have, weird stuff happening to me at that time after that happened. Like, so that morning after, I, went out to this like little vestibule hallway, like back hallway, and there were like a swarm of flies, like all over my window, like Amityville Horror style. I mean, it was like a ridiculous amount of flies on my window for no reason. There was no way they were getting in from the outside. No doors or no cracks in the walls. Like there were just flies in that little like hallway vestibule just for no reason. And then like shortly after my keys changed, the power went out in my apartment for like 8 days straight. And only in my apartment, and I had paid my bills and everything, and like, I was like freaking out. I was like, why is it just my lights that don't turn on now? Like, right as this all is happening for like 8 days straight. And then, like, guys, the spirit world is real. Like, at this time, it was like all in this week that this was happening. Like, I had like a whispering in my ear one night, and I never hear voices ever. I heard like a straight up like whisper in my ear. Okay, I only mentioned all that stuff because this was all happening together. Like for 3 weeks I couldn't like have access to my studio unless I called someone to let me in because my keys supernaturally changed. Ugh! Like, what is going on? So I don't know if that is a legit Mandela Effect or not. That happened to me personally. I don't know. It was weird though. And guys, I have to bring it back to God again. Please, one of the reasons I don't have fear over the Mandela Effect anymore, is because I've been praying to God to help me through. And that's been giving me so much strength. I mean, this is what I know now to be the strong delusion, where it says, if in the Bible, if possible, even the elect will be deceived. I mean, it's talking about a massive deception, and even talks about like a famine of the word. So, talking about the even the Bible changing. The Bible's disappearing. People's Bibles are fading now. Their whole words are fading from their Bibles and stuff. But yeah, anyway, if you guys have personal Mandela Effect stories or just like, I don't know, weird supernatural stuff that's been happening to you, if you've woken up or anything similar to that, just let me know. I'd love to hear about it. We should all share our stories. And guys, I encourage you, seriously, seek Jesus in these last few days that we're in, please. But guys, this stuff is really happening, and it can be really scary unless you have a relationship with God and know that you really have nothing to worry about if you have Jesus in your life. But that's the key. So anyway, I'll leave you with that, guys. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have an amazing night. Bye.